Hey, hey, ho, ho. I'm checking to see if I'm on the show, or at least to hear. Give me a sec as it goes live. For insert repeated tag of it's going to be a delay. When I see it on YouTube, you can see it here. All right. Enough of hearing me. Welcome, everyone, to the Augie stream. This is where I talk about random topics and I get to answer your questions along the way. So, up first, we have share the screen. And here we are. Sharing that live. That's right. Toonami. It's been on here for 25 years, or it's been around for 25 years, even though there's an obvious 4-year gap, which sadly that happened. I remember watching this like after school. It was first called I want to say the Action Pack Block. Program that William Street. Music videos. Anyway, it was an action block where they showed old episodes of Johnny Quest, Birdman, Space Ghost, and also something called Cartoon Roulette. Hey, Future Boy. The Anime Prince of Darkness. Hey. Thank you, thank you. Along the way, they quickly grabbed, they meaning William Street, aka Cartoon Network, they grabbed Moltar, put them in a 3G setup, and we have this Moltar era. And later, Moltar kind of dropped. Then we had the original Tom, voiced by the original Krillin for Dragon Ball Z Ocean Dub, if you will. Then we swapped over to Mr. Bloom for Tom era 2, 3, 4, back to 3.5, 5, and 6 along the way. My favorite one would have to be 3, which obviously a lot of people liked because it carried over to 3.5. So for this, I enjoyed what do we got? Awesome. Sadly, you caught it at like a near end, but I think that's when they swapped it over to the weekends. Let's see, 2006. No, it was still during the weekday. Then they swapped over to the weekend or Saturday for the 2007-2008 when it canceled, and they were like flip phones for some reason. I, as many as well as other, have watched Toonami, enjoyed it, and that's our first kick into getting into anime. Aside from it being on after school, I know some shows that were from ABC to the USA Network, and they brought them over to Toonami itself. Shows such as Reboot, Sailor Moon. That's it. With those two coming over, I was kind of hoping or crossing my fingers for Saturn Sonic to come over to get that good old season 3, but that never happened, so I ended up watching more anime. My first anime wasn't with Toonami, but it was with, sorry about the drink, it was with 3 shows. It was 2 of them on Nick Jr., which was Grimm's Fairy Tale Adventures. I shouldn't forget this. Grimm's Fairy Tale Adventures. Somehow I saw the Fist of the North Star movie, which I think that was from Saturday Anime, which I knew it was anime from that point. Come on. Grim Fairy Tale Adventures. It'll come back to me. I'm sorry. I usually have that 3 on my mind. Oh, yeah, the Little Bits. Grimm's Tale and Little Bits from Nick Jr., and I believe the Fist of the North Star movie, either Cinemax or Saturday Anime. Somehow I saw that movie when I was like super young. Along the way, I too watched Toonami. Toonami regularly after school, and quick tidbit, when they showed Gundam Wing Endless Waltz, they always showed it on a Friday, which was awesome. It boosted up the ratings. Everyone was ready to get out of school and head home to it. But every time it would air, for some sick and strange reason, my mom has like this sense of, you have to get a haircut this day. And I'm still weirded out that all 4 times that it showed that occurred. But anyway, I eventually bought it, watched it, and was surprised that it was a Christmas movie. So what do we got here for this? We have, at the beginning, hello. Yes, thank you for that. Then we have, happy B-Day to Toonami. Been watching since 2006. Awesome. All right. Future Boy. The first time I caught anime in America was through the Sci-Fi Channel early 90s, which I remember when Toonami had like the Morning Sun or the Rising Sun for Saturday just to try it out and see how it was. I saw that, then I flipped over. They were like airing the Garlic Jr. saga. I flipped over to Sci-Fi, and somehow they had the one of the Tenchi Muyo movies on, which I thought was strange, but yeah, well. But yeah, I've known anime was called anime when I was like 3 because of them. Are you picking up Skate Infinity by Haniplex? Maybe I'll pick it up. I was not impressed with that show, but they seem to get all the mediocre shows and sell it for $120. So I may not. I'm not for sure. I've been watching Toonami since like 99, 2000. So he really caught it at the beginning and just kind of went from there. I mean, I don't watch it anymore. Yeah, that's something else that I've encountered. Like, well, let me finish this point. One of the problems I had with Toonami was it would air an hour as I was in school because I was like an hour ahead of the Georgia timeline. I'm in the Central timeline, so I wasn't part of the the Atlantic timeline. So I'd miss stuff like Robotech, or are we calling it G-Force Battle of the Planets or Gotcha Man? I think it was the Battle of the Planets cut. And it would always be like half episodes of Thundercats, of Ronin Warrior. There we go. Ronin Warriors and stuff. So that was always a nuisance to me. But when it came back on again, which I praised it for, I literally teared up for that April Fool's joke. The crowd that I'm with are subletists. That's right. For the anime club that I'm in, they all prefer subs, which is strange because I look around the room as they prefer subs, and the majority of them wear glasses, which you would think if you wore glasses, you wouldn't want to read more. But anyway. But yeah, when it came back on, a lot of people, I can see if they own collections like I do, they probably wouldn't unless if it's something new, but just sitting down and just viewing it for nostalgic sake, I still like it, but well. Akira, Ninja Scroll, Fist of the North Star, Neo Tokyo. Those were the major anime movies they aired during the late night. Well, there you go. Thank you. Also with this, they had different types of giveaways. They had Jack and Daxter. They had plenty of others, but the one I remembered is the Banjo-Kazooie one because I was one of the 500 second prize winners to get a Banjo-Kazooie in box, by the way. brand new Banjo-Kazooie game before it released. So dealing with parents' divorce and all that other stuff, that was a really big highlight for me back then. I got a picture that said, "You are a Toonami winner," with the old UFO. When in the Moltar era, they had like this UFO character, and it would like fly around to zoom and scope out the Earth world to give them insight. So you had him and a star, and like all white letters, the Toonami font, and the header on top being that purplish space that they would have. And in one of the corners, it had Toonami on, or not Toonami, Cartoon Network on it. So that was really nice. Oh, all right. Any more I can say on Toonami? Aside from the various anime and action lineups that they had a really good, what they would accept when they had control. They had a really decent action lineup. Like you had stuff like, with their controls, Samurai Jack being not really their property, but premiering onto the block. They aired the quote unquote Batman Beyond movie on there, I believe. The Clone Wars that they aired was amazing. Then so much anime. I kind of wish let's go back to here brief sec. I kind of wish that the era when they Tom Ford's era, when they went to the weekend and wanted to promote those good old sports anime like Prince of Tennis, and I think Ice Shield 21 was on there for a little bit, or that could have just been Jetstream. When they aired those two. Then you had stuff like Zatch Bell, Bobo, Beat the Vandal Buster, which didn't have a long airing, sadly. That's part of the flaw with the Saturday lineup. They would get a show, let's say let's just call it Mayor. They had Mayor. They were able to dub about 52 episodes, or half the series, stop there, and Jetstream, which was their online platform, would air the other stuff, but in sub. That's how we kind of got another, in different places, different other places they had on Jetstream. If you remember Mega Man NT Warrior, they aired more episodes of that in sub. Yeah, let's see what here. What do we got? J Animation Entertainment. The 2012 revival lineup was awesome. Deadman Wonderland and Catherine Sins are still two of my favorites. So you can't go wrong with Cowboy Bebop and Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, that's valid. I really like Catherine Sins. Deadman Wonderland, I'm not a fan of prison shows, but I kind of wish that the mangaka or creator was not pregnant while writing the show, because she stopped the manga and left to obviously take care of her child. But when she came back and finished it, we got a proper ending than what the anime gave us, which should have been like a finale OVA if I was in charge of it, but whatevers. But yeah, those are good lineups. A lot of people have not seen Cowboy Bebop uncut, so when they go see Jupiter Jazz, they see other things that they were shocked to see than what they originally had. What do we got? Toonami picked up the slack off the Sci-Fi Channel during the later years of the 90s. Couldn't agree more. Prince of Tennis was a guilty pleasure of mine to watch on that block, LOL. A lot of people had some opinions about that Prince of Tennis dub and edits to the script. I could have sworn that Funimation, I haven't had a chance to look at it, but I know Viz released like 4 sets, but not all the episodes of the original. Funimation picked up a series of it. and I believe it's 11 Arts who's dubbing and releasing the recent 3D CG movie of it. Oh well. So that I mentioned the contest winner. Yeah. I filled out a not a postcard but a letter, described my situation, and just asked for the game, and there I go. I got it. So, yep. All right. So let's go to this second topic. If you want to comment your Toonami experience and stuff, please go ahead. I'll read them. I'll talk about mine compared to yours, and we'll go from there. But the other one that I want to talk about is, which won't take long, my experience or what little bit of stuff I've done for the anime industry, which is barely anything, but quickly to show up, there's two topics. Not that long. One is well, you can't see that at all. Now you can see that. So this is a test disc for what do we call this guy again? Metal Skin Panic Maddox 1, which is a current release from Amerimigo Kickstarter starter, and I was one of the lucky four to get a test disc sent to me. I've watched the movie over 7 times. I've watched the special edition, the special extras, a time or two. So I really know what's on this disc, and sent back my results, and there you go. I was one of the testers for it. Another one that I mentioned. Is it near me? It'll prep better than that. Yeah, right here. Another one is I helped put it. Yeah, if it's green, you see like this baby grand piano in this house over here. But for Sergeant Frog, I was the one that helped get well, you can't see that. They call it English Pilot, but there was a trailer from ADV Films that had the lead voice of Caro be I believe, Vic Mignogna. So I helped with that. So how in the world did I help with that? One of the people that worked at Discotheque, I want to say Brady Hardy. I could be wrong. Sorry if it wasn't in advance. He asked one weekend on a Saturday, does anyone have this trailer? And he was just looking for someone to rip it for him and go from there. So pretty much the excitement of this is like trying to find a McDonald's with a drive-through that's not full, instead of like a treasure hunt for ninja robots. So I looked in my handy-dandy new type CD briefcase. And remembered that I had it. So, and this was for December. Let's see here. Yeah, even though the magazine itself would have been 2008, January 2008, the second to last issue, it was actually, come on, December 2007 that showed, if you can see it, right there at the top one. I hope you can see it, but like the very top period, this is the disc that had it. I thought it would be a lot more smooth and action-packed than this. Sorry for the real life, if you will. Oop. So, essentially, I noticed that he still needed it while finally completing Spyro 2. I have to include that detail. So I said I would help him out. Then he replied back later. I talked with him, and he showed me how to rip it to get him the contents that he need. I sent it to one of those file share, not file share. Pretty much, I went to Google Drive, put it in there, got him to download, and he was good. And that's the extent and excitement of that story. So anyone could have done it. You just asked, and I was luckily there to get it for him. What do we got here? 90s ain't for adults. Dream, yeah. Wait, hold up. This is a new one. During the 90s, anime was aimed for adults for the extreme violence during the 2000s anime. During the 2000s anime was more aimed for the younger audience when Pokemon was popular. There's two sides to the story that I agree with you. You're saying facts, but you had sort of the 90s you can say was 4 different anime cultures with one underlying behind it. The 3, so you had like before 1995, and after, I would say 95 to 97 was the same period, but 98 to 2000s was their own period for general children's anime. You can kind of tell the different styles and story structures with that. Really fun to dig in for yourself. But the underlying background would be the OVA scene. The OVA scene is where we get those video nasties that you like. Well, like with, you're here. Like with Angel Cop. And is this the right year? Yeah, 94. Like with Angel Cop in the background, or it's not here. Mad Bull 34, something like that. You have this OVA scene that they were able to get away from the censors that would usually like go boo-hoo, no blood there. But with its direct-to-video approach, you can test more censorship and get more bloodshed and action with that satisfaction. So, very true statement, but maybe that brief explanation made it more living. All right, what do we got here? Maddox 01 was my first VHS that I bought. And that's also the first release of Maramigo ever released, according to the special features that they had on the Blu-ray. So you started collecting when they started. So kudos and awesome. My first VHS was Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, which was the 2-part OVA blended into one, which was a very smart move for ADV at the time. Let's see. Are you a fan of other international animation like Fantastic Planet or Oban Racers or just anime? Well, I have Fantastic Planet and I'm afraid to watch it because I kept hearing there's pacing issues, but I'm not against watching it, if you will. Oban Racers is I would technically say it's an anime because it's a French and Japanese production. I know more anime than the other. I would love to watch forgive me for the name here, the famous little blonde Viking and big red-headed Viking with braids. I want to say Asterix and the Obelisk. I would love to get into that. You have 2 Vikings who are very famous across Europe, being a cartoon, so what's not to like about that? Mr. Bean's cool. I wouldn't recommend the Free Friends and Jerry show. That's something. But mostly it's anime for me, just Japanese anime. I might dip into some Korean anime, but depends on who releases what. I'm not sure of any long-running shows. Like, no, that's just it. I don't know of any long-running shows, or I would have named it. What do we got? Steve-O! What's your favorite out of the big 3? One Piece, Bleach, or Naruto? One Piece. I would prefer One Piece. Why? It's just another version of DuckTales to me. I know that's a sappy answer, but you get, while reading and watching most of it, sometimes it's a little get on with the show here. One Piece, I can just enjoy the adventure. You just sit down, relax, enjoy the adventure, see what they go through. Naruto, I would also watch. Why? To me, it's just another form of X-Men, but you have the carrying of Flash, if you will. You have all these varieties of people that they try to focus on, even though it just focuses on Naruto as the main point, which, the name of the show, what do you expect? But he doesn't just go out there and assassinate him like you would see in, like, Blade the Immortal. He sits there, tries to reason with him, and tries to make things, I say that a lot, make things for the better, which makes him shine as the leading character, you know? Bleach. There's a lot of things I don't understand with Bleach. One of my main annoyances with Bleach is that Ichigo has to be the one to kill the character. So he will yell and lecture throughout the whole time. Then we get a flashback. Then we return from the flashback, so we understand these bad guys that are more likely going to be obliterated. Then he yells some more, and before the episode ends, if they decide to, he might continue on and yell more. He will finally punch the bad guy. I don't like that. Between another series, I'm not going to say the whole name, but if you know what I'm talking about, cool. Railgun and Index. I don't like Index because the guy won't punch the character. He wants to yell. Well, Railgun, unless second season, we understand the characters and can enjoy the characters with the dilemma, and it blends. To me, it blends very well. So, with that being said, I like One Piece. Also, awesome name. By the way, Steve-O, I wish the Jackass character wouldn't, like, if you see his tour, his comedic tour, he puts jet fuel in the living room and lights it up and burns himself. It's funny, but you kind of question what sanity he's under or what his insurance is doing about that. All right, so let's share once more. Because sharing is caring. It could be fun. All right, so something on here that I put down is the Final Fantasy Distance World Tour. What is this thing? Let's scroll. Okay, now we got more American places. What is this? This is pretty much a celebration of all the Final Fantasy music put into Orchestra. So you can sit there, watch the visuals up in the screen, and let the music vibe through you as you enjoy its live composition. I went and saw this, I want to say 2008 ago, and I really enjoyed it. My friends talked about it during high school, and I finally got a chance to see and live through what they were talking about. And they're supposed to mix up the different song selections, if you will. And just go through here. So we got some in April, 2 in San Francisco, 2 in Atlanta, Georgia in the later part of June. Forgive me that I'm not sure if that's Missouri or Mississippi Grand Rapids, July 14th. Houston, Texas, they got it July 22nd, 23rd. And Tokyo, Japan gets the beginning of August. Then Chicago gets it September 10th. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, September 20th. Another showing in Los Angeles, California on the 24th of September. London gets hit up at the beginning of August. Fort Worth, Texas gets it 2 weeks before Thanksgiving on the 12th. Forgive me on this. I want to say that's Massachusetts, Boston, Massachusetts, however you want to say it, on November 19th. December 17th, Bangkok, Thailand. 17th and 18th, New York, January 7th of next year, 7th through the 8th. Nashville, Tennessee, the 25th, which is the city I would go to if I was going to go to that, but that's just where I live. And February 3rd, Spain. Paris, France, 25th of February. March 3rd, Amsterdam, the Netherlands. And Orlando, Florida, March 10th and 11th. The link to these are in the descriptions below, where you click on the show more details or show more. Also, there's not just one. As you can see, you can read it for yourself, the welcome to, and it tells about these two guys. They have certain concerts. You can buy the records, sample some of the songs. But there's also two other ones, such as A New World, Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy VII Remake Orchestra Tour, which you haven't. If you enjoy the games, or at least enjoy the music, I would say at least try Distant Worlds first before looking into any others. And, okay, that's about it for me. All right, I'll wait 5 minutes for more comments, if you will. So, Toonami, other memories. I remember the hype and stuff, like in junior high, where most of this happened for me. The greatest era of Toonami happened when I was in junior high. Would be like talking about what's going to happen next in the Cell games. The military kid who mentioned about Boo, and we're like, what are you talking about? Then he brings in the magazine showing Boo. It's like, that's different, but I wonder how that's going to play out, which to me it played out fine. Others, they complained. Gundam Wing being the main talk of both genders ever since it showed, and thereafter, if anything, that helped a lot of people start dating each other just for the talk of Gundam Wing. Cardcaptor Sakura being a highly interesting topic depending on who you talk to. You either get the Christian people that don't like it because it's tarot cards, or you get the other people who enjoy it. It's a strange mix. Every time that show gets released, something strange happens, such as PTA outrage caused the show's content, or PTA rampage of the evil stick. Ooh, it's a toy. It's a joke toy that they found in a liquidation store. Do you ever get to see Woolen Warriors on TV? Yes, I did. There's a lot of, I have talked with other people about that show. I remember watching it and thought, okay, this is pretty interesting, but I kind of wish the music would change. If I remember right, it had some sort of rap music with it. But other people I talked to about that kind of puppet show, if you will, really wanted the original just translated, because it wasn't as silly as what we got for the dub, apparently. I still find it strange that there's no release of Woolen Warriors, but that doesn't mean it won't happen in the future. You never can tell. I don't know who has a license. I don't sell it, but it's a nice thought if someone would pick up what little show that they had, or episodes that they had, and just released it. Hopefully the full series. I'm always for full series getting released, not the greatest hits. Let's see. Yeah, you had Woolen Warriors, Cardcaptor Sakura. Originally, Pilot Candidate was supposed to be on Toonami, but they picked that up for whatever reason, Adult Swim so they can kick up their lineup, which is kind of cool because Adult Swim later revived Toonami, and here we are now. Yeah, I mean, Jax. Or 8 Jacks. You had that, and then you had Yu Hakusho. I guess the only thing that they could have up going back to Pont Candidate, I guess the only thing that they could have it be adult is them saying damn. Then you had the other reverse of Yu Hakusho originally being on Adult Swim, then they picked it up for Toonami to air, then they let it. There's a strange period where they aired all of the Toguro arc. Then they moved on to the, I want to say his name's Yubei arc, and continued it on the weekends. When they went to the weekend block, they stopped it, but they aired it at the strange hour of either 3 to 6 a.m. in the morning. So technically they showed it all, just not announced when or where, which for some reason, those awkward points of Saturday Adult Swim when they would just mix up the anime lineup for no reason. I don't know why. They trolled the anime viewers, even though it gets higher ratings but not higher income. I'm not broadcasting, so I don't know why. Let's see, other stuff. Gundam. How can I forget Gundam? More Gundam. They aired, Bandai Entertainment did not charge them to air the original Mobile Suit Gundam, which I liked, but other people questioned. You have Gundam Wing. Well, obviously we had Gundam Wing to start, but then you had G Gundam. Gundam Seed I had issues with because of an audio balance issue. For some, maybe this stopped later, but for me, with my viewing for Gundam Seed, I would enjoy it. Okay, we have this sort of fairy tale setting of the soldiers protecting the princess. Cool. Then before the episodes start, you get this song. They never showed the subtitles for the song. It would have helped me out because I kind of want to know what it was. So they had this song, and it blasted loudly over the content. So I couldn't hear what they were saying. And it was like, do you want me to watch this show? Then you had the Midnight Run with 8th MS team. Miller, 8th MS team. Correct me in the comments. I'm just going to go with Weekend at Bernie's. War in the Pocket. Stardust Memories. That was it. These Gundam side stories that were awesome and didn't take up much time to show, but I remember everyone talking about War in the Pocket and what sacrifice had to happen. I'm not going to say what happened, just no, Weekend at Bernie's is a more appropriate description for this. All the guys would gather up to talk about 8th MS team. And some people I didn't understand it because no one invited me to role-playing games, but some would comment about how accurate it was, that you can probably make a role-playing book out of it, which I don't know if it exists, but there's your idea, unless you like Mechton, Hero, or I forgot the other one. But anyway, that's another story another time. You have like all these middle school lunch table conversations. That's why I still enjoy Toonami, because I remember that. Also remember the host and the various shows that he would introduce. Like, how can I not talk about this? Hamtaro. That's one of my top videos where they joked about showing Hamtaro, and it turned out to be a huge hit. Everyone had a hamster or gerbil. It was awesome. Let's see here. Some strange nods. It's like, I know everywhere around the world except the US, they aired Ranma 1/2, but obviously over here we can't air it because it had boobies. But everywhere else except the US, they showed that show either on just Cartoon Network because it's Ranma, or the Toonami action block because it's full of action. Also, across the world, they in those regions, which luckily they're able to find it. You had like Ninja Robots, which I think that aired much earlier than that, but I think it might have a rebroadcasting through a Toonami lineup. Ah, well. Okay, I've stretched it. I don't think I'm going to get any more comments. So with that, on Thursday, expect a new episode from me. Not streaming, but a new complete collection episode. I'm still working on stuff like this guy right here. I have made an ASMR video. I just have had a lot of stuff to deal with lately. And I still got all of episode 6 of the anime bargain hunt still complete, as in for editing, not filming. So that, guys, catch you later. Be safe. Beware the spring pollen that's about to come in. And with that, didn't Robotech show on Toonami as well? Well, Steve-O, let me tell you. It did show on Toonami, but when it did, I was outside of, I'm in the central time zone. They're in the Atlantic time zone, or whatever you call it. Call it the New York time. New York time was Toonami. I'm in Chicago time. So there was an hour difference. When they aired it, I was still trying to either wait for the school to end or wait for someone to pick me up. So they had this hour that I had to miss. And Robotech was like the first thing to show. So I was out of luck until I can buy it on my own. So I wished I was able to catch full episodes of Robotech, but yeah, well, that's how the cookie crumbles. But yes, it was on there. Ooh, let's see. Oh yeah, for those who watched the recent Pickup Halls episode 35, did you enjoy the music that I included on it? I've been wanting some feedback, but I got a little bit, but not much. But, oh well. If you can't catch it in the stream, comment below. Anything else? I do have the latest Discotheque releases from last month and this month. Just haven't had a chance to film and edit, if you will. So with that, be safe, stay safe, snack well, eat well, sleep well, and dress well. And I'll catch you on the flip side.